The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Nobody tells you when you have kids how much you're going to miss your partner. Nobody talks about that.
You better stop preaching here.
Nobody talks about that.
We going to church? Is that what we doing?
And
yeah.
Come on now.
And my wife, Rachel, and I have gone through this.
The healthiest relationships and marriages, it will not only bring out the best version of you, but what people don't often reveal is that it will also bring out the worst version of you. In order for the best version of yourself to emerge, the worst version of yourself must exit the premises.
Marriage coach Randy Sneed joins the conversation.
Why we not talk? Well, let's talk about it. We live. We live. Yeah.
That's the show, Dennis!
The last 7 days have been totally insane, but we made it. Now buckle up and get ready for the most organic conversation on the internet with your hosts, The Force, The King, The Kamikaze, The Great and Terrible. Up to it, down to it. Pour a glass and talk some trash. Welcome to the show, and thank you for tuning in. We hope you have a good time tonight right along with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell a friend. Let's go up to it.
It is what it is. But we back for another Friday night. We're going to have another good time. We got a good show for y'all, some good people to holler at y'all tonight. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Assuming nothing's changed since last week, and we can still call you that. Welcome back to another episode, the most organic conversation on the internet. Up to it, down to it. Exciting show to bring to y'all today. We got some great stuff to talk about. I think this is going to be an impactful episode. So get ready, pour your glass, get ready to talk some trash, get ready to ask some questions, because we about to get it in. Enough of me running my mouth. Let's get to some of these intros. We're going to start right here to my left, my man, the movable force. Y'all know what time it is. Kev, talk to us, brother. How you feeling? How was your weekend? What you sipping on today, man? What's good?
Oh man, what's good, everybody? Happy Friday. Cheers. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. Feeling good this Friday. Feeling all the emotions because K2 starts kindergarten. Yeah, K2 starts kindergarten. That's me. I knew. K2 starts kindergarten next week, and I'm just feeling the feels. It's gonna be good. Everything's gonna be good. So we just thank God for the way that the time is passing and that I'm getting to see all of these moments. So hope everybody's feeling as good as I am on this Friday. We are keeping it. I'll say keeping it the Smith Street with the American honey, and it's chumpy 1.75 because what's the point in buying small bottles? We mixed that up real good. Again, real street. So I took Chick-fil-A's lemonade and then hit it with a little bit of the Starry. We're just gonna say Sprite if that makes you feel better. And as I always say, pour up whatever you got in your glass as long as it's not Aquafina. I'm not here to judge you until Aquafina starts paying us. Then I'll be that too. So I hope everybody's drinking good, man. I'm super looking forward to this show. Glad to have the Coach Randy here. We got to chop this up, man. We got to chop this up. Let's get it.
All right, there we go. I think we got everybody on
Mm-mm.
now. All right, there we
Mm-mm.
go. I think
Mm-mm.
we straight. He said, let
Mm-mm.
me do a quick
Mm-mm.
mic check. I know it's a little out of order,
Mm-mm.
but quick
Testing,
mic check.
testing,
Randy, can you hear us? You coming through?
testing, testing. Can you hear
There we
me?
go.
Yes,
There we
sir.
go.
Yes, sir. We're good.
We
Okay.
live.
We out here.
We're
Lord of
good. We're
big.
good. And Kev, that the background-ish noise, is that gone or is that still a little on my side? Do you still hear that?
It's like a little. It sounds
Yeah.
like the old ham radios.
Breaker,
I
one
got
nine.
you.
Yeah, I thought it was me, but we good
Yeah.
though. You know.
Make it work. Make it work. There we go. I think that might be a little better. Okay. All right. We're going to fix it during the intros. Down bottom, LB, conspicuous by his absence last week. Had to go take care of some family stuff, some dad stuff. Had to do what he had to do. But he's back with us today. Rich King, talk to us, brother. How you feeling, man?
What's going on? What's going on, brothers? What's going on, everybody? Man, I'm doing fine like Ron and getting better with time. And I hope you guys are too. Welcome to another episode of Up to It, Down to It. Listen, man. So what's been on my mind is you got to take control of your you got to take control of your feelings. You got to take control of your emotions, your morale. You have to take control of it. Be responsible for it, because don't put that in anybody else's hands. Don't put your your happiness, your any of that. Don't put it in anybody else's hands. You take control of it, and you control that, and you mature that, right? And that's all I really got is, that's been the biggest thing this week, is you are in charge of your own happiness. So hey, go make it happen. Go be happy. If you think that morale is down, then you do something about it. Don't wait for somebody else to do something about it. If you think that it's too negative in your environment, then you do something about it. Either change it or change your environment. Change your environment or change your environment. So that's all I got, man. I'm sipping on the purest of Stella Rosa Honey Peach. Stella Rosa Honey Peach. You got the crown on there for the crown for the king. And I'm going to be sipping on that all night. And just in case, because things are going to get, things are going to get real tonight. So strap in. I had to get the rum and the tequila, to go to come along on this journey. So come on along and ride on it, because it's going to be a fantastic voyage tonight. Let's get into it. Let's go.
All right, early start. Okay.
Look, you know it's gonna be a good night when we start referencing old Coolio songs, man. You know it's gonna be a banger this evening, man.
This is great.
And hey, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, man. And with that said, let's get to the last one, the man of the hour. Y'all seen his face on the thumbnail. We've been talking about it for the last week. Excuse me. His links are in the description. Check him out. We're excited to have him on board for this episode. I think he's going to give some great knowledge and insight. Coach Randy is here with us. We're excited to have you, my guy.
Banger.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
2024.
Little intro. Holla at us.
I made it. What's up, family? It's Real Coach Randy Sneed. I'm a married man. Strong married man.
Say that.
Confident black man. Okay, I'm out here doing my thing, man. I work a 9 to 5, but I'm also working this coaching thing. I'm in school. I got kids, and tonight I'm drinking with my Ravens cup. Go Ravens for celebrate for the preseason game. Just some gin and ginger ale, a little splash of Blue Chair Bay coconut rum. So just something nice and smooth. But yeah, I'm excited about tonight. We're gonna chat. We're gonna rap. It's gonna be a good thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, man. I know we got some questions already. Kev was telling me about some. I'm certain we'll have more come up as we get into some of our discussions tonight. But yeah, definitely appreciate you swinging by. I know you're a busy man and very sought after. So the minutes on our currently small platform, we appreciate you jumping on, man.
Oh man, please. I'm just a brother. That's it.
Good brother. A good brother.
Just a brother. Yeah.
I'll drink to that, man.
I'm honored. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to be invited, man.
And
Well,
look,
that's
you
what's
read.
up, man. Well, let's get right into it. Hey, shout out real quick. Oh yeah. You go ahead and put them in the air. I promise you, there's not Aquafina in this can. I promise you, it's not Aquafina. All right, but it's something. It's something. Yeah, drink whatever you drinking on, man. Whatever you got. You got the rum, the tequila, the wine, the water. As
The
long as it ain't
whiskey.
tequila, as long as it ain't Aquafina, we good. We're gonna have some fun. Let's jump into it, man. I want to get your feedback on this first topic. All right. So this is a viewer submission. We usually like to start the show with that. And I think that'll give us a little bit of a precursor for you, and you can kind of tell you a little bit of your story as we go. We're gonna do this in phases. First is the dating before you get married phase, and then the next is going to be the after you get married phase, right? We're gonna talk a little bit about both sides. So let me get your feedback on this first one, and this is a question of whether or not dating is even necessary. Put your glasses in the air. Let's talk about it. Maybe anytime.
I think that we should begin to shift from the idea of dating to moving into a space of courting. Because courting sets the intention and says, I plan to marry you. We are pacing towards marriage. Maybe we need to sit down and do some therapy together. Right. Maybe we need to look at how compatible we are, right? It's not about chemistry, because you can have chemistry with anybody. Yeah. Maybe we need to begin to look at compatibility metrics, right? What do we both want? And then based upon what we both want, what are we willing to sacrifice for the whole of what the relationship would benefit from? Yeah. What are some goals that we can put in place that we can pace towards together? Because sometimes that passion and some of those things fade away in moments, but is there a vision that you have for the relationship that will keep you guys together, even when you guys may not be seeing eye to eye as far as passion and chemistry are concerned? Right? And so when you begin to court, you court with that intentionality in mind. Yeah.
All right, so a couple of layers in that, I think. So let's get into it real quick, and let's talk about, is dating overrated and why, or what should be the purposes of dating. I want to start out before I go into y'all's thing by saying this. One thing I said to my wife when we started dating, right, was at this big age, if we're dating and it's not for the purpose of trying to see if we're going to move forward in marriage, what are we doing? Right? If we're dating, we're exclusive, and it's not for the purpose of moving forward, then what are we doing? So I just wanted to put that out there real quick. Let's hear from Coach Randy first, man. Coach Randy, talk to us, bro. What's your thoughts on that?
So here's my thing. And it's weird. This is probably why I don't know if I'm gonna be good like doing my own podcast, right? Because I don't have strong opinions on almost anything. And what I mean by that is dating is over. Okay, for one person, sure. And that might have worked. I know plenty of people that they were married within 3 months of meeting each other. And they have had successful marriages. And I know people where that would be the stupidest thing they could ever do in their life.
Mm.
What you have to know is who you are, what you're about, what your level of. The other thing that, okay, I just cut myself off. But the other thing that's important is how old you are, right? You said at this big age. When I was younger, I was really big on friends first, right? And I was like, yeah, you got to do friends first. And this is what I was taught. You got to do friends first. That's the best way to do it. And there's a level to that is still valid. But as you get older, I kind of equate it to like bones as they develop in a child, right? As you get older, your preferences, your personality, your relationship style, it starts to solidify. And so when it's younger and it's more malleable, what is it? What's the stuff that bones were first? It's with a C. Like your nose. Your nose.
Cartilage.
Cartilage, thank you.
Cartilage,
So
yes.
cartilage is a lot more malleable. Cartilage is a lot. It can recover from injury faster than bone because it's not as firm, and that's your dating style when you're younger. When you're younger, your dating style is much more malleable. You really don't know who you are. You're still trying to figure it out. When you in your 30s and your 40s, you know what you want. You know what type of person you're looking for, and so realistically, it may not take you 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 years to decide this is the person I want to be with, you know. However, if you know yourself and you know that, hey, maybe you do need more time, well, then you're going to have to find somebody that's not kind of like, ready to get it going. So I think it's important to be balanced in this, man. You can't just say, man, stop dating. Dating is trash. You can't live that life because that's not true for everybody. And you're going to end up setting yourself up or setting somebody else up.
Yeah. And as a point of clarity, I think we should say that when you're in your 30s and over, you should know what you want.
Valid.
Because there are those that are out there that still don't know.
Yeah, that's valid.
And, hey, things change. I can see that. But the core of your standards, if you've never set them, then how do you know what they are?
Yeah.
Great points. Rich, you had some more you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I'm going to jump on it because I, too, I agree that, everybody's definition of dating could be different. It looks different for, different people. Because for me, I see dating as, I don't know, more of like a hobby now. Like there's a difference between courting and dating. Like, you just going to have some fun, going to get to know a person. It's not even necessarily that deep in my opinion. But when I hear courting, or if I want to court a young lady like I courted my wife, right? I was like, this is it. Like, and when Randy, when you said, some people meet and then within 3 months, boom. I mean, when you know, and that's fine for them. Because for my wife and I, when we made it official, because we dated and then I courted her. When we made it official, right? Exclusive, we went and did marriage counseling, up front. We didn't wait to get engaged, to go through marriage counseling, or, we did it up front. Let's this is the path we both want to go down. Let's go ahead and get this, marriage counseling up front. Because that's the route we're taking. That's the path. This is the purpose of what we're doing. So we might as well, why wait until we're engaged to go to marriage counseling? No, we did that up front. So, I say that to say, is it overrated? It depends, really. It depends, because what's the purpose of you dating? And, to be honest, there's some people out there that don't need to be married. So it's not for everyone.
The last thing you want to do is marry that person who shouldn't be married.
It's not for everyone. So
yeah, that's the last thing you want to do is marry the one that got no business being married to nobody.
Yeah. While I advocate for marriage and whatnot, again, I will also say, like, don't feel like you have to know yourself. You got to know yourself. If you are the type of person that, hey, you just can't be with one person, hey, be real with it. Don't go in a situation knowing yourself and knowing you're going to go in different directions at times. Just be real with it. Own it.
Kev, what you thinking, man?
I probably feel like Coach Randy does. It's something for everybody. Wildly enough, when Rich brought up the, premarital counseling, like before engagement and all that, wildly, I've been in 2 relationships, I've been to like premarital relationship counseling, like prior to a big step, because yeah, and both of those times they fell apart after the woman was made to be accountable. And so, we'll thank God that we saw some things early that we didn't have to proceed, forward with, because accountability goes a long way in relationships. So like, I think that's a wonderful idea, if that's the route that you're trying to go. But to me, it's not the end all be all. I can certainly understand waiting until engagement for, premarital counseling or whatever the case may be. But it is kind of one of them things. Like, if there's some stuff that you can learn early on, that are the big red flags, and we decide that we're not going to do Six Flags with the red flags, then you can, kind of jump ship before you get too carried away. I even think back to what was it? Think Like a Man, when they were talking about introducing your partner to your kids, and was like, you don't want to wait too long, because what if the kid doesn't bang with your partner? What if the partner doesn't bang with your kid? Whatever the case may be, like, you would rather discover that on the earlier end than to get everybody's feelings all involved, and then that hits you later. So I do think it is going to take a lot of self-searching to be sure of what it is that you want. But certainly, all of us that are here are well into our 30s, if not into our 40s. So it just like they said, like, you should be a little more sure of yourself and what you want at this point in time to be able to make those decisions.
Yeah, well said, man. Well said. A couple of notes I jotted down. First of all, that Six Flags reference was hilarious. I audibly laughed, but I was on mute, so because I didn't want to interrupt you. So, that's
Some
real. That was a good one.
Flags, it
And,
looks like a ride.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned that, because you get taken for a ride if you ignore them red flags, boy. You get taken for a ride for real.
And that same roller coaster will fling you to your death.
Like shit. Like as if you had no protection on whatsoever. You just go flying off. But no, that's real, man. The last thing you want is to ignore red flags. And I think dating, I think what he said was, and I think y'all kind of alluded to this too, is that it's about the intent behind it. It's the intentionality behind it, right? If you are dating and the intent is, we're just gonna go have a good time, we're gonna have a few drinks, we're gonna shake some sheets when we get home. All right, fine. Then it is what it is, right? And I don't really think there's anything wrong with that if that's what it is. I think, though, there is a difference between that level of dating and, like you said, the courting, where it's intentional, where the everything I do is with the purpose in mind of us moving forward as one down the road, right? I did the same thing like Rich. I went to marriage counseling early on. My wife and I, we went to marriage counseling early, before we got married. But we had dated for a couple of years, admittedly. But before we got married, we went to marriage counseling as well. We wanted to make sure, we had enough respect for marriage in general, the institution of marriage in general, that we didn't want to go into it not fully like, yes, I am all in. When I say I do, I mean I do, right? So I wouldn't so much say that I'd say that dating is overrated in the sense that when there's no intention to move forward, it's underrated, because we're not doing anything. Like I said, we don't have to date. You don't have to be my exclusive girlfriend for us to go out and have a good time and shake sheets when we get home. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be my exclusive girlfriend for that. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I get it, but you don't have to be that for that. But I think when your intent is to move forward with that person, then the dating becomes a little bit different. Now it's really about getting to know that person, getting to gel with that person, the things that you see outside of when y'all go out to the bar, because they all gonna put on their best mask. We all do. We all gonna put on our best mask. We all gonna put on our best impression. We all, our best caricature of ourselves. We're gonna put that out there when we go out, right? So I think when the intent is there to move forward, it goes deeper than just what you put out on the surface.
I think the right shoot, and Trey, you're right that people will put on their best face, but when you're in scenarios like that, it don't take too long for people to show you who they are. The more
Yeah, that's real.
people get, the quicker they are to show all the sides of themselves, whether they mean to or not. And so, I think that's why you got to talk. Like whatever it is you're going to do, you got to talk, because the more you talk, the more people tell, and the more they tell, the more you see.
Yeah, and situations as well. Situations, man, they will speak louder than words as well. You know, when times get hard, where are they?
Right.
What are they saying? Like what are they doing? What are they doing more than what they're saying? Where are they? When the times get hard. So yeah.
Yep. And Randy, let me just get your input on this now. Correct me if I'm wrong. You and Alicia were high school sweetheart, college sweethearts. I know y'all got together young. Tell that little bit of that story. How that went for you guys. Well, he muted. We gotta take a shot.
Did we break this down for him beforehand? Because if not, it's our fault.
Y'all set me up.
That might have been our fault. That might have been our fault.
Maybe. That's okay.
We set ourselves up.
So I met Alicia on her 14th birthday. So I've known her since we were 14. I was 14 at the time as well. We dated very briefly, and then we kind of, went our separate ways. I was in some very serious relationships when I was in college. She was in a serious relationship. She had gotten engaged. Then both of those relationships that we had been in around the time that I graduated, both of those relationships ended within maybe a week or so of each other. And that was kind of like one of those signs like, hey, this is supposed to be the one, And so we ended up on the phone and we talked for a while, and then we ended up, kind of taking our time with it. So if I would say that was like about January of 2009, and we started officially dating in August of 2009. So we're actually coming up on that anniversary. And then we got married in 2012. So we still dated for a bit officially before we, decided to get married. But yeah, it was. So I've known her for a long time. I've compared her to pretty much every relationship that I was in. When I was on another podcast, I told the host, I said that she was the gauge with which I measured every woman that I was with. And that was before, we were married. That before that time when we dated, it was like 2 weeks. We was in high school. It was just a little short situation. But I would want to add, just kind of jumping back, I don't think dating is overrated. I think that dating culture is corrupted now. Or dating culture is very exhausting now from what I see. Obviously, I'm not in the game, so it's not first person experience. And so I
Let me be
want to
clear.
respect everybody that's in the game, that's out here in these streets trying to make it happen. I get it. Y'all hustling, trying to, feed your family with relationships. But I just there have been so many polarizing conversations that have kind of gotten past the purpose, and so now we have gotten to a place of selfishness now, and so it's really hard. That's why you do have to create those situations. There's a guy that I follow, his name's Tim Ross, and he says that you have to deal with the seasons of life before you decide who you are going to live the rest of your life with. Let your relationship go through seasons: the passionate hot times, the cold times, the springtime where everything's beautiful and new, the fall time where things are falling apart. Like every season of life, can correspond to that season, in the world where you are dealing with the circumstances that bring out your real emotions. That's when you can't hide behind that facade. That's why you can't hide behind that representative that you send out,
Yeah,
at the
right,
beginning
right.
to kind of scout out the person that you're dealing with. You send out that representative. But yeah, you deal with seasons of life, then okay, when money get tight, so and so get real angry. He get real short. He don't know how to handle his flower. He don't know how to handle his lover. when money's tight. So when those situations happen, my favorite judge, her name is Judge Lintola. She's my aunt in my head, but she says you she said it like this. I don't really like how she said it, but she was like, you set the trap and then you watch them. And again, because I'm not big on games and traps, but what she's saying is that you have to continue to be vigilant when you are in a dating situation. You don't just fall in love after a week because the hair was done. You gotta really see how this person live their life. And the more you do life with that person, the more you see yourself doing life with that person. And with the flags, like we tend to, especially when passion is involved, when love is involved, when you fall in too quickly, you're looking at those red flags with rose-colored glasses because you so enamored with the person. So now those red flags just look like flags, like, hey, come on down. But when in reality, it's a warning.
Woo, woo, woo. Coach Randy dropping bombs out here, man.
Preaching better than y'all saying amen, right?
Hey, man. Look,
I ain't
that's
no
one of
preacher.
those. That's one of those. If you can't say amen, say ouch kind of things.
I've said
No, man.
plenty of ouches in my own.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we all look at Judge Lynn Toller as our auntie in our head, right? She's definitely we did what was it? Was it last week, Kev, or the week before we did one of her segments, something that she talked about?
I watched
So
that one.
yeah, we love Judge Lynn Toller, man. And in sync to what you said, right? And by the way, y'all sound off in the comments. We definitely gonna highlight y'all what y'all saying.
I see you. I
And
see
shout out
you.
to y'all. Look, the comments are going off, man. It's a love affair. It's a reunion in the comments right now. I love
Yeah,
Mm.
buddy.
I like her profile picture. She cute.
What?
it. Hey. I hear that one might be taken. And I don't know. A little birdie told me this one might be taken.
Mm. Okay, that's a
But
blessed brother.
look, I love this quote because it's what you just said. It's overrated because people put too much emphasis on it. One person is dating and the other one is courting. That's a huge one right
Mm.
there. One person is dating and the other one is courting.
That's good.
What's your thought on that, Kev? You're courting somebody, they're dating you, or vice versa. What's your thought on that?
That both of us are at fault. Um,
Mm.
because that was a discussion that should have been had. And every time your thoughts or feelings change, that's a discussion that needs to be had. I know we said we were going to blah 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 blah, but I'm starting to feel this. Now that I feel this way, how would you like to, move forward? Because it can start one way and then feelings change. Even friends with benefits, like somebody catches feelings. So now that you've caught feelings, there's another discussion. I know we said we were going to just, but this is how I'm feeling. So now what do you want to do? If you keep those lines of communication open, then you don't arrive to that point where one person is dating and the other is courting. But I think, and it's valid, but it's necessary because I am one who does not like confrontation. I don't like, feeling weird. I don't like feeling unheard. I don't necessarily like the hard conversations, but I know that they're necessary. So one of the things that we're working on in therapy is nigga, just say it anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't say it, then you sitting by yourself with that feeling. If you do say it, at least you got that feeling out. Granted, the answer ain't always gonna be what you like. Hell, most of the times it ain't what I like, or what I want, and that's across the board. But at least you can say that you said it. At least you didn't leave that stone unturned. So the conversations are important so that both people don't arrive to different places trying to travel the same route.
Yeah, yeah. And it's easier said than done, right? Because like you said, kid, like you hate, to put yourself out there like that. I mean, it's being vulnerable, it's being transparent, and it's scary because you don't know. It's the fear of the unknown, right? So yeah, and it's something you got to do. So just being even able to muster up the strength to put yourself out there like that. I mean, That's courageous. Some people might, you're gonna be fearful, but you gotta do it anyway. You gotta muster up that strength and do it anyway. Say it anyway. I agree, Kev.
Yeah, man. False evidence is appearing real. I was just talking with um I won't say the name. I was just talking with a friend earlier this week, and one of the things that they were saying was that there was all this anxiety between for them talking to their husband. They thought that if they said certain things and this was going to go wrong, that was going to go wrong, this was going to go haywire, he was going to react this way, he was going to yell, scream, cuss, fuss, etc. And the truth of the matter is that if that's going to happen, I think my opinion is if that's going to happen, then we need to let it happen and get through it now. Right. That's just my thought about it. So, and especially if I'm in the dating phase, if I have something that's important that I need to bring to you, something that's bothering me, something that's been bothering me, whatever it is, and I have the anxiety of, oh man, they're going to flip out, they're going to react funny. That's exactly why I need to say something. Because if they're going to flip out and act funny and it's going to be something that's going to, that's going to cause a problem, I need to find this out now. I need to find that out early. I need to know this before we say I do. And I got to, I'm not trying to necessarily make this a battle of the sexes kind of thing, but especially if you're a man, because marriage benefits both, but divorce benefits them. Okay. Okay. That's just what it is, right? It doesn't help us. So I think under all circumstances, you need to find out if that person, that man or that woman is somebody that can deal with and can handle hard conversations, because they're going to happen. Coach Randy, last thought. What you got? Hold on, you muted again. Hold on. You muted again. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. That one was me because he had feedback coming from his speaker. So I did. That one was me. That's on me. So you got to unmute yourself real quick because I still can't hear you. But
Taking a drink anyway.
Yeah. We got. I'm gonna take my sip now because that was I'm gonna take two because it was my fault.
We got you. Loud and clear.
I actually didn't know I could control it. All right. So Miss Frizzle said, "Take chances, get messy, make mistakes." Right? It's okay. We millennials. Well, I'm a millennial. I can't say all y'all. But
damn. Yeah. We all the same age, Randy. Shit.
But so I grew up on a Magic School Bus. But the point that I'm making is, it's okay to make the mistake. Like you said, all right, man, I fell and I scratched my knee. I'm not gonna die. And then I learned about my footwork. And then I learned, okay, don't take that turn like that, right? You learn, you build with those mistakes. And so we try to be perfect so much on the front end. And I'm not saying lead with your flaws. I know some people do that, when they coming out of jail and they all right, so look, man, I did 2 bids, right? I'm not saying you gotta be like that, at the beginning of a relationship, but you gotta be you gotta be open. You gotta be open, you gotta be honest, and you gotta be okay with a mistake. Like you said, I want to figure out this issue now so that it doesn't become a bigger issue later. And a lot of times we hide that stuff out of, with the perspective of trying to protect the person that we say we love, but in all actuality it ends up, becoming a bigger issue down the line. So it's like, hey, look, keep it light. If you're dating, this is a recommendation of mine. Keep it light. Yes, this is for life. Yes, this is something serious, but that doesn't mean you have to be so laser focused and so tight that you're missing the humanity of the relationship. And the more you build that relationship, you got to trust that God's not going to lead you wrong. So you have to be able to put yourself out there and be kind of a little trusting. And if it gets hurt, at least you did not put your full self out there, right? Again, you're putting out feelers. So it's not a game. It's a conversation. It's just like playing music. I play a chord, you match my chord. I change the key. Okay, you adjust as well. And so now your dating relationship is a symphony. And we're working on making this beautiful music together for life.
Woo.
You're gonna move me over to my keyboard, man.
Let me take my drink. Hey, come on.
I'm about to say, look, man. Somebody break out the church organ for this guy, man.
Tell me what your key is, and I got you.
Oh, that's real, man. That's a great point and a great message, man. I hope everybody listening. I hope y'all got something from that. Let us know in the comments, shout it out. But yeah, no, great. That's great stuff right there. To your point again, which you put up highlight another comment. To your point, it's all about communication, right? So it'd be a great idea if the person knows the appropriate definition between the two. Well, that only happens through communication. That only happens through talking. I think, a question that used to be asked back in the day, I don't know if it is so much now, is what are your intentions with my daughter? I don't know if you ever been asked that. Y'all been asked that before? I've been asked that by a few.
Yep.
But that, you don't get that now.
Yeah.
I got that, late high school, early college. You don't get that now.
No, not as grown up.
Isn't that something that you don't get that? Because I would think that you would get that nowadays. Now I'm just, I'm not in the game either, right? Happily out of the game.
Want to be clear?
Let me be clear. But I guess thinking back on it, I would expect that if I got that question from the parents in high school, right, and maybe even from from in younger years in college, right. I guess the question is why, as adults, do men and women? I won't isolate anybody. Why don't we ask that same question? What are your intentions exactly? Where is this going exactly? Right? It's not treason to be following somebody and then to ask them, by the way, where are we going? Like, where are you leading me to? You know what I mean? So, yeah, communication is, quote my LB, communication is the key. Without it, all things will fail.
No, this is our quote. One thing is much physical state.
Sir.
Sir. Yes, sir. Period.
We too busy arguing 50-50 dates and not being submissive. Yeah. Or 50-50.
50-50 and no submission. Okay,
yeah, not even dates. 50-50 relationships and not submissive.
Throw what do you bring to the table out the window? What are your intentions? What are your intentions? Because you can find out those things with that question.
That's the legs the table stand on.
Right. This is that constant and open communication that we talk about too. It's like, if you're used to talking, then talking isn't an issue. If we're used to having real conversations, then this isn't going to be that big of a problem. But if you never really talk about the relationship, then that's when the anxiety is building up. But because it's like, oh, I don't know what they're going to say. Start talking. Just get used to talking about relationships. Just get. Hey, we just gonna have a check-in every 2 weeks or so, or every couple weeks. Hey, let's just check in, man. How you doing? You liking what's going on right now? And if you can do it when it's not an argument, then it becomes a lot more natural for you to actually have a healthy and meaningful conversation. That's when you can ask those questions.
How about it? How about it? I'll leave that there for the interest of time, so we can move on to this next one. But that's some great stuff, man. Shout out to Coach Randy real quick, man. He got some bombs on us, man, already.
You know what we came to do.
He know what he came to do. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, cool. Let's move on to this next one. So we covered the dating aspect, right? And now for those of you who are married or who have aspirations of getting married or whatever the case may be, this is a video we came across a little while ago. I don't remember if this was a submission or not, but I remember coming across this video and just talking about how in marriage it can bring out the worst in you, kind of like you guys were saying, right? You need to know, what happens when that person's at their worst, and can you handle that? Can you deal with that? So this video kind of alludes to that. So one more time, get your glasses ready, get your typing fingers ready in the comments. Let's get down to business and talk about it.
The healthiest relationships and marriages, it will not only bring out the best version of you, but what people don't often reveal is that it will also bring out the worst version of you. In order for the best version of yourself to emerge, the worst version of yourself must exit the premises. And usually in your healthiest relationships, the reason why many spouses can say that the other person has saw the worst in them is because they felt safe and secure enough to allow the person, the things, the habits, the proclivities that have been suppressed and hidden for so long to come out from hiding because they trust the other person won't leave when they see the worst version of themselves. In your healthiest marriages and even relationships, the worst of you has to come out in order for the best version of you to ever emerge. And when you're with the right person, they will love you and they will love the worst version of you because they know your heart and they know the best version of you has yet to arrive to the scene.
We're working for the future, because working for the present, we ain't making no progress.
We ain't getting nowhere.
Working for the president ain't making no progress.
We ain't getting nowhere.
Oh man. All right. So and Kev, cue it up. I think there's gonna be a G&T after this one.
We playing spades tonight, so
yeah, we got books tonight. Oh boy. Who wanna jump in on this one? Kev, Rich, Randy, who wanna jump in on this one first?
I don't mind. I've been yapping.
Yeah, go ahead, jump in, Randy.
I like what the guy said. I like what the guy said because it's about progressively breaking down the walls of protection that you put up for yourself in order to protect yourself and protect your spouse, right? So as you grow in a relationship, this is not an excuse for someone to be a toxic human being, right? This is saying that we are all capable of flaws. And so the person that you are with, haha, I got my thumbs up. The person that you are with,
I was wondering, I was sitting here like, what is that?
Come on, Apple devices.
That's pretty dope. Do I have that? No, I don't have that. All right.
That's my iPhone. I think it's on your phone on iPhone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But so the person that you're with has made the decision when they got married to you saying, "Hey, listen, I know that you are a foundation of a great life for me, but it's going to take some chiseling and some work in order to make it as close to perfect as we can be, right?" So I used to make this analogy to, because again we in Baltimore, or I'm in Baltimore, but I used to make this analogy to the statue of Ray Lewis downtown by the Raven Stadium, and I said that started out as a block of material. That statue started out as a block of material. And then as the craftsman began to work, he was chiseling, he was hammering, he was wiping. Sometimes he broke something and then instead he said, okay, well, instead we're going to adjust that and make that, do something different. Well, that's marriage, right? Like that's a relationship. The flaws are going to show, because the block of material has to be formed into something that works. And so in a relationship, me and my wife, I'll use us as an example, we are constantly chiseling, forming, rearranging, adjusting. It's like, okay, I thought it was going to be a smile on Ray Lewis' face. Now it's going to be a mug because I messed up the tooth. So we're going to make it a mug now. Like you make those adjustments as you continue to work on that perfect finished product. And what happens at the end? It's a beautiful work of art, but it takes consistent work and consistent wear and consistent, mistakes and consistent flaws. Again, that brother that was talking, he wasn't talking about, hey man, I'm a horrible person, I beat on my wife. No, he wasn't talking about that at all. What he was saying is that there are parts of me that suck. Okay. And I have now become so vulnerable and open with my wife. I am allowing those parts of me to show because I know that as I allow these parts to show, we can fix it. I finally get a chance to fix this part of me that sucks, and that's a privilege. That's a blessing that we have to lean into instead of being so afraid that we completely keep off that section of ourselves in our marriages because of fear, right? Get therapy. Because of fear, because of anxiety, or legitimately because when we were vulnerable to someone, I'm gonna speak as a man, when we were vulnerable to a woman, it was used against us. And so now we come to the conclusion that you're not supposed to be vulnerable. But the conclusion should be that woman wasn't trustworthy. You know what I mean? That person that we were vulnerable with wasn't trustworthy. But we pervert the conclusion in order to keep ourselves safe. So I think he did a great job. I think he did a great job of explaining it. I like what he said.
Woo, there's some great points in that. Rich, jump in, bro.
Oh man, how do you go from here? Because
Yeah, right.
you know, and the other part of that I was wooing because it's like, if if the person is not willing to be chiseled or break down those barriers, or it's like, what then, right? Because you already in it. It's and it's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. Nobody knows how much time, and you just you got to stay in it and continue, to chisel away. What's funny is after that segment was finished, the who was that? Was that Marvin Sapp song? He saw the best in me. I was like, I was, I was thinking about my wife, and I feel like she sees the best in me. She's like, always championing me on, and I know that she also sees the worst, but she does a great job at, she doesn't throw the worst of me in my face. She like champions me on and always sees the best in me. So shout out to you, babe. For being that great communicator to be have my back and see that best in me. um Even though most times I can only see the worst in me. um I want to thank you. um but yeah, I think the guy did a great job explaining, and at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, what? When he says that marriage will bring out the worst in you, but after hearing the explanation, I mean, it's true, because you go through life together. And so even before that, right, in the courting phase and all of that, like, when you're dating and all of that, we talked about it already, people are putting on their facade, their best foot forward and whatnot. And it's really, really courting. Even listen, once you get married, the meat and potatoes are out. Okay, I mean, you in it, you in the thicket. Like, it's the ups, the downs, the loop de loops. I mean, everything. The tornado, hurricanes, all of it. Like, you're in it. Um, so yes, as the barrier comes down, and absolutely love the way, Randy, you put it with the chiseling away, but that's the art of it. I mean, that's the there's beauty in that process. There's beauty in that process, and you just gotta stick with it. Like you really gotta stick with it. I know it may seem ugly, painful, whatever. Like you stick with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Kev, jump in.
God in therapy. Let's go.
All right. Hold on. Before we do that, it is definitely going down. I want to say that first of all, I agree, and also I want to tell all the fellas that if you want to get a masterclass on buttering up your wife and speaking highly of her, you need to watch Up to It, Down to It every Friday night, because one of us, either me or Rich, and in this case, Randy, one of us is going to show you exactly how to talk up your wife, how to speak very highly of your wife as you should. All right. I just wanted to put that out there. Now, well said, Rich. I love that point about. I absolutely love that point about about your wife seeing the best in you, even when you often see the worst in you. You know what I mean? I think that's huge, and that's the kind of love and admiration that we should all have for each other. We should of course do the same thing for our spouses. You know what I mean? And we make sure we see. One of my prayers at night is that my wife sees her the way I see her. You know what I mean? And then also that I see my wife the way God sees my wife. You know what I mean? So it's a 2-part prayer, that my wife sees herself the way I see her, and also that I see her the way God sees her. You know what I mean? And I think if you're constantly working at that, like I said, chiseling away, working at that, I think you got a good foundation for marriage. But as was stated earlier, and he said it, go to therapy. It all starts with that. So we're gonna go right into it. It's time for God in Therapy. Pull up your glass. Let's get it.
So the beautiful part is that
All right. Oh, hold on. Somehow I missed it. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, we got it right. Okay. All right, we back where we supposed to be. Now this has become my most favorite segment, because most of our show is unscripted anyway, but this is completely unscripted. The only person that has any idea what question we're about to get asked is Kev. The only one that has any clue. So this is the fun part. So y'all, again, pay up in the comments, man. Let us know what y'all think. Answer the question. Jump in. All right, Kev, talk to us.
I do need y'all in the comments too. All right, so and when I do ask these questions, I always tell them like how I arrived to this point, because I have a full deck of cards here. I was ready to play spades, but I think we got a good one. So in this discussion talks about seeing the worst in a person, and believing in the best in a person. And I think that failed relationships Christ, to Randy's point, when he compared his other relationships to his wife, even before they got to that point, you've seen the best and worst of people to know, like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, this is what I'm willing to, bend on, and this is a point where I will not bend or break your non-negotiables. And so I think, along this discussion, we've talked about some things that get us to the point that we are, where we make the decisions that we're making. So my question to you fellas is, what are some unmet needs from past relationships that you held tight to make sure that where you are now in your marriage would be the right place? What are some unmet needs from past relationships that you kind of kept at the forefront to not let that happen in this place, which you are, relationships that led to marriages?
That's a damn good question.
How many streets is
damn
you
good
see?
question. God dang. Yeah, I got to think about that one. Somebody else jump in. I got to think about that one.
Mulligan? I mean,
not a mulligan.
Huh?
Ooh. So I mean, you did because we know the dating pool has fentanyl in it. So you did that, and you walked out of it like,
It's got
you know,
cocaine and fentanyl.
once you made your way out the water and purified your system, you know what I'm saying? Once, once the Quaaludes wore off, you was like, I can't set myself up like that no more. So I'm gonna make sure that blah blah blah. Like what things did you not get from previous dating experiences, previous partners that sticks out to you? And I don't think it's all sex, silence, and sandwiches, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it was definitely sex, silence, and sandwiches. Definitely was what it was lacking in previous relationships. You know, it was always 2 out of 3, and y'all know 99.5 won't do. So, all kidding aside. Well, I mean, that is kind
Lord,
of
I'm
true.
coming. I mean, running. What am I saying? Running. All right, here we go.
That is actually kind of true that it was sex, sandwiches, and silence. But I will say honestly, communication. Like the biggest thing that I wanted from my wife when we first dated was for her to be transparent, for her to be upfront, for her to tell me what she really thinks and tell me what she really feels, regardless of what the end result was going to end up being, right? So if I did something or said something or looked a certain way or whatever it was, if it was going to result in us breaking up, then so be it, right? If it was going to result in us moving forward, which is what we should be doing, because you know everything isn't always going to be, you know, rainbows and roses, right? You should be able to move forward, and that's what I wanted to know. So I would say, for me it was communication. The one thing I hated in previous relationships, and I had a few that were like this, was something would happen, let's say in April, and here we are in August, and you're bringing it up. I even forgot about what the hell didn't even happen, right? Now you're in August, and you done bringing it up now, and we done talked about it in August, and now you done brought it back up in February. You know, we got to talk about it again in February. Now you're bringing it back up in damn November, and I'm like, but it was April last year. Why are we still talking about this, right? So if we're going to talk about something, we need to be able to move forward. You need to be able to say everything that's on your mind. I'm going to say everything that's on my mind. We're going to figure out a way to move forward. And if we can, as I said last week, and I said in a lot of episodes, how can two move forward except they be agreed? Right. And so that was always a thing for me. And if we don't communicate, I don't know that we can be agreed. And if we can't be agreed, I don't know that. I mean, the Bible say we can't move forward. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't about what Trey think. You know, I govern my worldview based on the word of God as much as I can. Right. And so based on that, again, I don't even think that the Bible say we can't move forward if we're not in agreement. You know what I mean? So if we can't communicate, we can't get an agreement. So I'd say communication for me. And actually, as I look in the comments, once again, we on point because she says the same thing. She says the same thing. And here she goes. For me, it was communication. My past relationship severely lacked communication. It really made me mad. It hurt my feelings, and I didn't like it. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I felt precisely the same way. If whatever it is, if I need you, I need to be able to get in contact with you. If I did something wrong, I need you to be able to tell me about it so I can make amends for it and move forward, or not, whatever it is. But it doesn't need to be something that sits and festers. You know what I mean?
Respect.
Yeah. For me, it was progression. It's like you said, moving forward. But for me, it is that moving forward, that progression. You know, I need to, you know, I need to know that it's me and you against the world, that we're going to keep going. We're going to keep learning each other, and we're doing it together, that we're doing life together. I need to know, and I need to know that it's me and you need to know that it's me and you against the world. And it's about progression, moving, you know, together in sync, going deeper. Because you know, we like to go deep.
Shut up.
Going deeper, and just continuing, you know, down down the path together, learning each other, like committing to that, understanding that, likes and wants are going to change. But as long as, we both know that we gonna make it, we gonna make it, we gonna make it. That's really that was the biggest thing for me was like, you know, once like that actually, I think that was in one of in our wedding, the song we go make it. It had to be one of the songs.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
definitely
man,
was.
we play that occasionally. Every time something comes up, we know that's our theme song. That we gonna make it. We gonna make it. So yeah, progression.
Coach Randy, jump
Okay.
in.
All right. So I've been thinking about this. We go deep. We don't get no sleep. That's right. 4 kids. So okay. Let me do this preface first. The preface is okay, yeah. The preface is that I think that the majority of my ex relationships were with wonderful people, but we did not bring out the best in each other.
Mm.
And so in that previous segment about bringing out the worst, there's the compliment of bringing out the best. I feel like no one has ever been able to bring out the best in me like Alicia. And that was one of the reasons why she was always the gauge with which I measured everyone else. It's because I had a taste of my own greatness being with her. And so I had been trying to match greatness with these other people with serious relationships, and they were wonderful people, but they could not pull from me what she could. And the other thing, which is just one of the most amazing things about her, is that she is able to access these things in the most feminine way that makes it so attractive, right?
Mm.
So
Can you elaborate on that? Can you elaborate on that point?
absolutely. So, and I'm not necessarily, engaging with the conversation about the defined feminine and you know what I mean. But, however, she is operating in a place of, it's like her actions were wifely, right? It wasn't like, oh well, you're not gonna do it, so I'm gonna take. Like, I dealt with a lot of aggressive women, right? The women that was in relationship with, they were, you would call them like alpha type, even though that technically doesn't exist, but they were like that dominant type of personality, and that is based on their own life, their own experiences, and people that have let them down, and so they decided that they needed to pick up the slack. That's on the dudes that violated them, right? But in Alicia's situation, she is able to still push me, but push me in a way that only a woman operating in her feminine space can do. And that is one of the most attractive things about my wife. That is one of the most confidence building things about my wife. Now, that is one of the things that attracted me to her. Over the course of marriage, we had our challenges. And as a result of that, we had to get back to that space, because there were times where I fell short, right? And in those times where I fell short, she did have to pull out that more masculine side. And because that was such an issue, we had to figure out how to recalibrate. We had to figure out how to reassess, reset, because that feminine space is where I need her to be in order for me to be the most fulfilled when it comes to her. And so she has a natural ability to do it, and that is why that is always a goal for me when it comes to us rebuilding our relationship and building on the foundation that we have. How do I put my wife, how do I show up for my wife so that she can be able to rest in the feminine space that I would love to see her in?
Woo.
Yeah,
Man,
that's a word right there. That's a word.
man,
Because
so
man,
many good words. Oh my goodness, so much
Oh,
good. Go ahead,
the
Kim.
one
Jump
that stuck out, the part that stuck out
in.
for me is that he said that, we have to show up, right? He said he's got to show up for his wife so that she can operate in that space, in that, feminine space. And that's the word right there, because we don't talk about that enough. And I'm saying in as a whole, in general, right? Men, like, if you want them to be able to operate in that space, you have to show up for them to be able to show up, to be able to act in that space. So, fellas, that's another conversation, fellas. It's another conversation.
And it's an accountability thing because I want to clarify this too. Because like one of my favorite shows is the Pop with the Balloon show. Like, I love that show, right? I'm a big fan of the Pop the Balloon thing, okay? And one of the women on there, she was saying that she wanted a man that can put her in her place. And I'm like, yo, like, I'm not a realtor. Like, I don't want to put you in your place. You know what I mean? Like, you be your own realtor. However, I do want to avoid creating interference for you being in your place. And so that's what I mean by showing up. It means me doing my part. Like, you can't just be unregulated and off the chain and I'm supposed to fix you. Y'all was talking about that when we first started, this episode today. Like, I'm not here to fix you. I'm not responsible for your nervous system being regulated, right? That's you and your therapist, right? But what I'm responsible for is not creating more obstacles for you to be dysregulated. So I have to be on my game so that I'm not making it harder for you to regulate your own self, and vice versa. You got to be on your game so that it's not making it harder for me. But you do not control my regulation. That is my responsibility. And so when I'm on podcasts with brothers, when I'm talking to guys, like, I'm talking to guys like, y'all got to show up. Y'all got to show up. Yeah, I'm gonna be harder on you because I'm a man too, and so we got responsibilities that we have to do. If I'm in a situation where I'm talking to ladies, yeah, then I'll talk to the ladies. But when I'm talking to guys, like, hey, look, we got our work to do, and I'm not gonna just bypass that just to take an opportunity to take a shot at the ladies. So that's why I said I got to make sure I'm showing up so that I can make it easier for her to be in that space.
Right. Yeah.
Facts.
And of course, I'm in a different space than you all.
Yeah.
But I can like take a look at things that have not worked in past relationships and like kind of gauge what it is that I would want if that window presents itself. And there are for me two things that stand out, and they coincide with my love languages. So the first of them being it was a lack of intimacy across the board. And of course, particularly coming from a man, when you hear intimacy you think sex, and that's like it's fantastic. Not gonna hold you, good sex is fantastic, we all know it. But like it is like it's everything, like all things that are intimate. Like I one of the like funniest little like couples things that I see on like IG and stuff like that is when your partner walks past you and they don't touch you. Like, what I'm saying? Like you walk past, but your wife ain't rub her hand across your head. Your husband ain't put his hand on the small of your back as he went past you. Like, oh, so we beefing now? Because like that connection is not there. Like it's a joke, but like it's very serious. Like you want to feel desired by your partner. Like when we part ways, you going to work, I'm going to work. Like kiss me like you're gonna miss me. You know what I'm saying? When I come home from work, when you come home from work, how do I greet you when you come through the door? Like those are levels of intimacy that matter at a great level to me. So when they're missing, I don't feel like as, and I know this is a softer side of man, but like I don't feel as masculine when my partner is not intimate with me. Like knowing that, what I'm saying, I'm taking care of the man things. Like, I'm first and foremost, I'm praying for you constantly. Like, but I'm, making sure, did you, like, have you eaten, where do you need a break? How can I, like, make your burdens lighter? Like, if I'm showing up in those ways for you, like you said, we got to show up in our capacity. If I'm doing those things for you, like, that's the place where I need you to meet me. It ain't too much that I can't do. I can cook the meals. I know how to wash clothes. I can fold them. I can put them away. Like, I wasn't devoid of any aspect of household whatever. Like, y'all know how we get down as fathers. I'm rearing the child. I'm teaching the kid. I'm showing up to the games. I'm showing up to the conferences. Like, I'm not missing no beats on fatherhood. I'm not missing no beats in the house. Like, so can you meet me at that place? It's been missing for me time and time again in relationships, and that doesn't sit well with me. And then the other part, which again taps into the words of affirmation, like, I need to be acknowledged by my partner. You know what I'm saying? And like, the age that we're living in, like, everybody's operating on the algorithm, and that ain't, like, that's not enough for your partner. Like, if you only shouting me out on National Boyfriend Day and my birthday and the anniversary and a man crush Monday, you know what I'm saying, 2 or 3 times a year, like, nigga, that's not enough. You know what I'm saying? For somebody who's working to make your life better as a whole on a regular, and you waiting for the time where you're gonna get the most likes to say this is what you do for me, as opposed to, like, honoring me in a moment where you felt it. Like, that's weird energy. So, like, those two things have been unmet needs for me a lot. And so they mean a lot to me as I look at partners, you know what I'm saying, as I go forward. Like, I need that intimacy aspect to be there. And I need, like, you to affirm me on a regular, because that's the fuel that keeps me wanting to show up for you in the way that I do. It's harder for me to do, like, I'm still going to do my job, but I'm going to do it with resentment. I'm going to do it and not feel as good about doing it, because it is my responsibility. But, like, I want to feel good about the things that I'm doing for you. And that means you got to affirm me along the way.
Yep, jump in, Randy.
No, you spitting, man. I love it. I love it. This is self-awareness. And so this is what you're able to go into a relationship looking for. Now you have your boxes, your realistic boxes that need to be checked. You're not necessarily looking to check the 5'3", light skin. Like, it don't those sure, that's sure.
It's
But
cute.
these are the boxes. Like, these are the meaningful ones that mean something, that are going to build a lasting relationship. And that's the healthy stuff, bro. Like, this is, I love it. I think you did a great job laying it out. I think you did a great job laying it out, man. And I don't know if you got it written down, like those qualities that you're looking for, man. And you write them things down, and you pray over those things, and you keep living your life, and you keep being great, and you keep working on yourself, and you keep doing what you need to do. You know, yes, sir. Oh, okay, got
It's
it.
a So the questions, and this was the start of it for me, which is how we got here. So this,
Okay.
this game has boxes, and the first one is the self-reflection box. So you go to this
Mm.
before the other ones, and you're literally, like, it's asking you a bunch of questions. And I'll say, like, the first couple of them, I was like, oh, these are easy answers, whatever. And then it hit me with the, like, so how important is this to you? And I was like, damn, I didn't realize just how important this was until you presented me, with that question. And now that I'm writing it out, like, I'm like, it's hitting, you know what I'm saying, in a way. And then you think back, like, wow, it really was this, and this. So, we go from self-reflection to icebreakers, and icebreakers are discussions between you and a person you're getting to know. And then, exploration, where you do take that next step and just kind of, delve into some things where you're creating a path. And then deeper connection is those hard hitting, you know, like closers. So this has been a fantastic set. It's based on, psychology, and put together by therapists and things like that. So I thought that this was a worthwhile venture. It definitely, like, made me kind of look at myself first. Along with the therapy that I do, is taking accountability for my role in a lot of relationships that I had, tracing the source of, like, my feelings about those relationships, you know, we got to deal with daddy issues or the lack thereof, you know, even like, you know, things that we wish we got from our mothers. Like all the things that shape you into the person that you are. You know, it's been a time. It's been a time.
You know what I love about that, the self-reflection part is you also got to be healed or in the process of healing. You got to be at least, you know, be willing to be healed. You know, and this is God in therapy, right? So, you know, occasionally, you know, there seems to be a scripture of some sort that always tends to go with something like that, right?
Preach to us.
It was I want to say it was Acts, in the book of Acts. I could be wrong. But a man was trying to receive his healing. Oh, no. I think, no. It was the pool of Bethesda, I think, right? It was a man that wanted to receive his healing. And the question that was asked of him was, do you want to be healed?
Sure.
Right? Do you want to be healed was the question, right? And I'm gonna stop right there because I think that is a key component of moving forward in a relationship, because I could have had some things in previous relationships that I held on to that may have hindered me in my next relationship because I held on to them so tightly. So there's two sides of this. There's recognizing that, hey, that didn't work, and I'm going to look out for those things that didn't work so I can, you know, navigate appropriately. And then there's holding on to it like this is how it's always is, right? You know, and you know, and y'all know people like that. I'm not, you know, I may not have that great of an example in this case, but y'all know people like that. They're always talking. There it is. John 5:2. There we go. Thank you, bro. But yeah, you know, that's a big problem right there, is that, you know, in the end, a person has to want to heal from whatever that past trauma was. We all were young. We all were in bad relationships or not so great relationships, or relationships that didn't work. Sometimes we were the asshole. Sometimes they were the asshole, right? Sometimes nobody was an asshole. It just didn't work, right? It is what it is. I think you got to be able to build on those things and not harp on those things, right? And there's a big difference. A lot of people miss their blessing. They miss their blessing because they still living in the past. You can't drive forward staring in the rearview mirror. You're going to crash into something. You know what I mean? So yes, you need to be aware of your surroundings, be aware of what's behind you, on your left, on your right. Absolutely, you should. But if you stare in the rearview mirror, you're going to crash, right? So you can't hold on to those things. So again, that's self-reflection, and not just healing, but being willing to heal, being willing to be healed in the first place, right? If you're not willing to do that, I think, in men and women, I think you're going to struggle. And last thing I'll say, and then we'll, you know, go to the next thing, is that Randy, you brought this up, and we say this all the time on this show. It's fellas. It starts with us. Now we have a good time, and we talk about some of these crazy broads out here, and we talk about, you know, I can't believe they think like this. Some of these women are wild, blah 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 blah. But as we always circle back around to men, it starts with us. All right. It all starts with us. All right. It starts with us healing. It starts with us getting in alignment with the Most High in the first place. Right. I'm just saying, or whatever your preferred entity is, whatever your preferred deity is. Right. It's about you getting in alignment with that first. It's about you showing up to the table first. It's about you being, you know, that husband material first, that dad material first. Right. Being that loving person first. You know, the Bible say that husbands are to love your wives in the way that Christ loved the church and gave his life for the church. That's the part that people leave out. And gave his life for the church. And not just that he did it, but that he was willing to do it. He was a willing participant to give his life for the church. Okay, for the growth of the church and so on and so forth. That's the kind of mindset I think we have to have. Men. That's the kind of mindset we got to have going in if we're going to attract the right woman, right? If we want a Ruth, we got to be a Boaz,
not a broke ass,
dumb ass, crackhead ass,
beating your ass.
beating your ass, yeah, or punk bitch ass. I'm just saying. All right, but nah, that's good stuff. Rich, you got anything you want to add on this, bro?
Now I'm gonna keep my mouth closed because I was gonna say something else to add to the, but no, I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to that one because
Sucker ass.
I'm gonna try to
Trifling ass. Yeah.
Well.
All the way live.
Can't keep a job ass. All right. Okay. All right.
Nah, mine was in a totally different direction. But anyway, we're gonna.
Yeah, I don't even want to know. That's gonna be another "How did we get here" moment. I don't even want to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man! All right, look, we about to wrap it up. We had a couple of questions, Kev. I know you had from some people. So let's run through those. These are questions for Coach Randy specifically. So yeah. What you got for us?
Man, listen, and it's more than a couple. So you just cut me off. But I did, solicit some questions from some friends and some followers. Just to, did you have any like marriage questions or things like that? So there are a few that I want to throw out there. And like I said, when it's time to cut me off, y'all just cut me off. So one of them that did like find a common theme itself is what are the components of a successful marriage, and like ways to identify them before marriage, and like essentially what sets that spouse apart.
Okay, so some qualities, because everybody's going to value certain things different. So I try to keep it as general as possible, right? Some of the qualities that are essential in marriage: intention, effort, active conversation, okay, and faithful foundation, okay. So intention, effort, active conversation, and faithful foundation. Meaning, so I'll go backwards. Faithful foundation. You want to have someone who believes some of the same things you do. Now, listen, I'm a believer. I do my teaching as a believer. But you want someone that has a moral foundation that matches yours, because that's what you're going to be gauging their choices by. You can't say that's not right if to them it's right. You know what I mean? So if I say that's not right, based on what? Well, based on the Bible. I don't believe in the Bible. Okay, well then we got an issue, right?
Right.
We got incongruence there. Okay, so you have to have a similar, in my opinion, you have to have a similar faithful foundation to build your relationship on. Okay, tension, effort, active communication. And we talked about this before. But you want to be in a relationship with someone that doesn't have a problem with engaging in conversation, whether it be about the relationship, whether it be about something that you're passionate about. If you can maintain open communication, then you can usually work through things. Active communications about the relationship should not only happen during arguments, and I mentioned that before. Okay, so those things need to happen regularly, and then even to the point where it's like, we ain't gonna talk about this now, we're gonna talk about it during the meeting, right? Because you are setting up that time as your place, your safe space to talk about your issues, because you know that at the end you're gonna come up with a resolution. All right. So again, faithful foundation, active communication, preferably communication issues discussed when it's not in an argument. Okay. Effort, intention. So intention. So here's the thing. There's an old song. I want you to want me. I need you to date me. Right? It's old, mid 90s, right? But to know that your spouse loves you and wants you means so much to so many of us. How they express that is where the variation comes. But the intention is, I know that this is something that you want, and so I'm going to do it. Right? because it's something you want, because it's something you love. It's not slavery. Okay, it's not like subservience to the point where you don't have any control over your life. So I don't want people to fall into that trap. But you showing intention, for example, I'll give you a general example. My wife was a cheerleader and a dancer, right? I developed an interest in cheer and dance because it's something my wife was passionate about. My wife was a pageant queen when she was in high school and in college. I developed an interest in pageantry because my wife was interested in it. Now, oh man, I can pick your top three out of the top 50 now. I got a good idea of it because I developed a genuine interest because I'm interested in what my wife loves. Okay. So those are those three. Last one is effort. And that's basic, right? I don't want to just go, okay, I want you to come to this dance with me. And I'm there and I'm just like, man, I can't wait to leave. That's not giving effort. You being a sourpuss. You are making the situation worse. I'm putting in effort here. I'm putting energy towards, again, the thing that I'm intentionally connecting myself with you, because I love you so much. These are the things that show that you're interested in that person. And a lot of times in relationships, knowing that that person is interested in you is a foundation that you can use to fix problems. If your intention is just to win a fight, we in the wrong relationship, yo. You just trying to be. You might as well be, on a debate team. Go ahead and be, if you want to be an activist, you know what I mean? Okay, that's fine. You just like arguing and yelling at people and getting your point across. But if you're in a relationship with me and you're interested in me, then my input matters, my words matter, and my feelings matter. So if you're in a naturally abrasive person, but with me, you're soft, then you're showing me that, hey, your feelings matter to me enough for me to tweak my tone just a little bit because you my queen. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. So those are my 4 pillars of a healthy relationship.
Where's my sound effect? Where's my air horn? There we go. God dang. That's big time, man. Effort, intentional communication, intention, and faithful foundation, man. I love that. I love all of
Thank you.
that. One thing you mentioned about your intentions, and you mentioned essentially mentioned submission and the difference between being submissive and being subservient, right? Can you talk a little bit about that? What's the difference between, I guess, a submissive posture versus being, in servitude?
Right. So when you are in subservience, you are relinquishing all control and all authority that you have, all autonomy and all independence, and you are a servant. This is what like the passport bros is looking for, right? Like they want slaves. You know what I mean? Like this is what respectfully. But like they are looking for someone that does not hold them accountable. They're looking for someone that does not challenge them because they believe that American women are too tough, right? They believe that they are too even though it is, again, going back to us, it is men that have let them down, that have forced them to adopt that posture, right? But again, like this is what those guys are looking for. So they're not looking for accountability. They're looking for full control. They're looking for slavery. We're not trying to do slavery. And we're not necessarily, and again, this is traditional values, man, biblical believer. I'm not looking necessarily for a match like a partner like right here either, right? Um, Meaning a man is in a man's role, a woman's in a woman's role. It is a healthy exchange of roles, right? We do what we do. We are proud of it. That does not mean I refuse to wash dishes. I don't do that. No, not at all. That's not true at all. Matter of fact, I wash dishes, I cook, and I clean the house. Let's go. You know what I
Facts,
mean?
facts,
And
all
I'm
that.
and I'm proud of it, and I'm good with it because I'm confident in who I am and my role in my family to take care of them. So my wife dealt with a lot of chronic pain issues over the years, and I had to step in and I had to show up. I had to use my opportunities to be Superman. My wife has to be able to trust that I can do that, as opposed to me and the kids gonna be dead if she don't cook. Like we can't
Right.
we can't live our life like that, man. We can't live our life like that, man. So when it comes to submission and subservience, a person that's operating in submission is just living in the role that God has designed for them. Okay, like you guys said before, we are supposed to love our wives as Christ loved the church. They are supposed to submit to us. We are creating an opportunity for them to submit, but they have their autonomy. They have their individuality. To be honest, I don't want my wife to only want to just do everything. No, get a hobby. Get a hobby. I need her to have a hobby.
Please.
Because I need her to be an individual. That is what is attractive about her. Otherwise, she's replaceable. That's just a routine. That's just somebody that's on rotation. We not with that. We want fully formed women here. You know what I mean? We want full, well-rounded women, and we want to present ourselves as well-rounded. What's my guy's name? Jason Wilson. He says, I present myself as a whole man. I'm a whole man. I'm a complete man. That includes my tears, right? So we are in touch with our emotions. We're in touch with our role. We know who we should be. We know how dear our wives are to us. They are not our slaves.
And if you love your wife, you don't want her to be a slave anyway. I mean, I think back to, because we've all seen it, so I'm gonna use this reference. I think back to Coming to America.
Yeah.
Right? What was he saying? Is she a dog? Is she a dog?
Right.
Am I supposed to say
right?
Speak and she just barks? Is that what she is? No, I want a woman that. What did he say? I want a woman that will satisfy my intellect as well as my loins.
Arouse was the word.
Yes, arouse. Yes. There we go. Yeah. Because arouse is very
arousal
different.
is important.
Very different.
Arousal is very important.
Yeah, damn right. But that's a good. I mean, that's valid right there. Like I want a woman, and I think real healed ladies, hear me when I say this. Real healed men do not want a slave. They want you to have a posture of submission, which you should, because he's supposed to be the head of the household, ergo the leader of the household, right? So yes, there should be a level of submission and reverence and respect for that, because you know that comes from his protection of you and your house and taking care of you, right? Just kind of keeping it on the surface level, right? So yes, real healed men don't want a woman that is a dingbat, with a deep throat. Although dingbats with deep throats are fun. Okay. All right. That's usually not what we want as our wife. Okay. We want you to actually have your own thought, because as Randy mentioned earlier, that's how you pull the best me out of me. I need to hear what you think, because I need you. I'm here to pull the best you out of you. I need you to help pull the best me out of me. And we can't do that if I'm yelling into an echo chamber, and you don't give me no pushback or no feedback, and all I hear is whatever it is that I think, and you just, yes, Your Highness, yes, Your Highness.
Whatever
You know
you
what I'm saying?
like.
I mean, look, that's cute for a night or whatever. But again, I
Right.
need you to challenge me sometimes.
That's fetishism.
Yeah. And challenge, not disrespectfully, because my wife challenges me regularly, but she's never disrespectful. She's never disrespectful, but she challenges me regularly. That's what it should be, I think.
Respect.
Cool. All right, Kev, one more.
One more.
We're running low.
Listen, you're gonna make this tough. Okay, so let's wait, because one more.
I talk too much.
We're gonna have to bring. Hey, y'all, let us know in the comments. Y'all want us to bring Coach Randy back on pretty soon, man. I think we're gonna have to have a part 2 real soon, man.
Yeah, I'll come back.
All right, so let me try to tie these together because they're all about like sexuality in a marriage.
Okay.
So I'll tell you the components. So it's a previous experience that affects intimacy with your partner and navigating that. Um, so there's a feeling that you don't have enough sex in the relationship, which of course is a trip is an attribute of the previous experience, and keeping intimacy a priority. Let's just roll all of those things together. So how do you navigate with your partner a previous experience that, you know, makes them look at intimacy slash sex a little bit differently, and navigate the space where you don't think you're intimate enough in your relationships, and finding a way to keep the intimacy a priority.
Okay. So I think that first off, there has to be therapy involved in this. Okay. Because now we are clashing at something that is very vital to a marriage relationship. Okay. We're in different places. We may not have the language to express our feelings about this situation. And so we have to have therapy. Whether now check this out. It could be individual therapy or marriage therapy together. Does not have to be together. Because some of this stuff, depending on if it's a prior experience that is a very traumatic experience, I'll say it like that. That's going to involve some individual self work. Okay.
Okay.
If you just engaging with your spouse though, because your spouse has to be a part of this, they the spouse that needs more, that is asking for more, has to put themselves in a place of understanding. Okay. The spouse that is, I'll say like this, is not providing what that other spouse wants. There's some questions that needs to be asked there. Do I want to give my spouse this? Do I not want this? Is my spouse asking for too much? And these are conversations that have to get mediated. Because someone just saying, I gotta have sex drive. I want to have sex more. Well, there could be some deeper details there that's missing outside of just I want to have more sex. It could be I violated my spouse's trust, and my spouse is unable to connect with me now intimately because I made a horrible choice, and now I'm trying to just fix it so I can get more. Hey,
Mm.
Mm,
bro, nah, you
mm.
or sis, but I'll say this, bro. Hey, bro, that's not how life is going to work for you, bro. You got to work back to that place, and that's going to take some humility on your part. However, what I would advise you not to do, this is the person that wants more, that I would advise you not to just let it sit. And I'll say that personally because that was an issue in my marriage. Is that I let my desires sit because I felt embarrassed to reach out. Again, let me tell you this. One of the reasons why I'm a relationship coach is because I've had experiences that I failed at. It's not because I've done everything perfect, but it's because I've had failed experiences and realized that there are people that don't have knowledge. you know? And so as looking at younger me, looking at previous me who lacked the integrity, who lacked the wisdom to make those healthier choices, you know, what I chose to do was just withdraw my request and then just serve, right? So now I'm operating out of guilt, or I'm operating out of pain, I'm operating out of sadness, just hoping that by me working harder, that my wife would just automatically just be like, hey, now I'm good. That's not the case. We never addressed the issue, you know? So my advice for that person that is wanting more, you have to actively address this issue and you need to do it vocally, not disrespectfully, but you have to adequately address the issue. You're going to have some mediation there. I want to make sure I touched every point that you mentioned. What was that secondary component?
The secondary component was not having enough sex,
Yeah.
like looking for a medium in that way, and keeping the intimacy a priority.
Yeah, so we have to so there's a pastor, I actually used this in my vow renewal. He said that you calendar what you care for. I'm not opposed to scheduling sex. I'm not opposed to putting it on the schedule if you have to. If your life is so busy and you both agree that this is something that is very important, then you calendar what you care for.
Pencil me
And
in to
if that
pencil
means,
me in.
yeah, pencil me in for Thursday evening. You know, please wear the teddy on Thursday. Okay, I need to see it. No
It's going
drawers
down.
under.
Not Teddy
Okay,
Tuesday.
Teddy Tuesday. Let's go.
Teddy
Okay.
Tuesday.
And if
Put
everybody,
it on a
if we
t-shirt.
have to choose between, like, okay, well, Tuesday is my night, well, Wednesday is my night, and then on Wednesday, if that night is just cuddle and then maybe a little something, then that's But and you mentioned this earlier, intimacy is not just physical sex, right? Intimacy, you are making love with that person throughout the day, throughout the week. You're building an atmosphere of love, of interest, of desire throughout time. So, and you are also, again, avoiding the distractions that will prevent something else to happen. So it's like, hey, if I'm sitting at home and I know she's gonna be stressed out about these dishes, man, let me go wash these dishes. Let me take that little bit of anxiety out of her mind so she don't have to worry about that. Take a picture of that clean sink.
Man,
And just let her
listen.
know, hey, I'm thinking about you.
That's a dick pic. That
Yeah, it
clean sink.
is.
Hey,
The clean sink is definitely a dick pic.
solicit it. Yeah. It's not unwelcome.
Hmm.
It's not unwelcome. Yeah.
The dick pic.
They don't be liking those, y'all.
Yeah, no, they don't,
They don't
man.
be like, let me just throw that out there real quick. They don't be like, especially without, you ain't even ask nothing. You just be like, hey, yo, what's up? Boom. Like, yo, bruh. Ask her how her day was, yo. Like, don't just throw it out there without, unsolicited, man. That's how you
All
gonna get
right,
clout.
all you fellas out there, you know what it is now. Get
Right.
consent
Bro,
together. Send the sink pic.
Yeah,
don't,
send them the clean sink pic, man. You know what I'm
Send the
saying?
sink pic.
Right?
Yeah, you
Or-
gotta warm up. You gotta warm up to the pole vault. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We telling y'all some real stuff.
You gotta send the clean living room pic. Come on now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
These
Listen.
kids gonna be asleep.
Look, I'm about to say, it's in the kids are in bed pic. Yeah, that's the one. I got them. It's cool. I got them. Yeah, you had a long day. Now I'll put them to bed. You rest. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Trying to tell you, man. Look, we having a good time, but we telling y'all, fellas, man. We telling y'all some real stuff. I can hear all the ladies that's watching right now going, yeah, right. Ooh, Hercules.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
Boy,
good
if he
stuff,
can clean
man.
the
Coach
sink like
Randy,
that, I
y'all.
wonder what
Coach
else he
Randy,
can clean.
everybody. Shoot, my bad, Rich. My bad. What you saying? My fault.
They looking at that pic like, boy, if he can clean the sink that good, I wonder what else he can clean.
Come on now. Come on. That's when you come back where I can clean the plate.
Get them pipes clean, you know?
That's when you come back, you say, I clean the plate. I lick it clean.
I lick it clean, boy. I'm gonna eat it all.
Absolutely.
Ain't gonna be nothing left.
Absolutely.
Ain't gonna be nothing left. That's where we got all these children from, y'all. That's why we have all these kids.
Come on now. Yeah. He's right.
Fertile Urkel.
Yeah, man. I drink to that. Look. Rich is getting fueled up as we speak. You see him? He getting fueled up. Oh man. Big shout out to Coach Randy, man. Good stuff, bro. We appreciate that, man. Great, fantastic analysis, man. We are definitely bringing you back. In the interest of time, we got to shut it down. But that was fantastic stuff, man. It was great chopping it up with you, man. Yeah, we'll talk offline about getting you on here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you got some time later in the month we can get you back on. We'll talk.
Definitely.
We'll talk. But yeah, man, that's great stuff. That was great stuff, man. We gotta shut it down. Kev, take us out, man. Final thoughts.
Man, just one more time, shout out to Coach Randy, and I'm sure it won't be one more time because the bros are really appreciative. But this is an amazing episode. I make no bones about it. I put myself around married men because it is something that I aspire to and something that I appreciate and honor for what it is. So, appreciate you brothers for, impressing upon me some good knowledge. Shout out to all the people in the comments. Y'all have been fun tonight. Y'all have been, responsive. And so we appreciate y'all. We are nothing without you all. So hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Teachers are headed back to school. So y'all go ahead and keep us in your prayers. Lord knows we need it. I went to my school building for the first time today and felt all the anxiety. But it's a labor of love. So just keep us lifted up. Take care of yourselves and each other. That part is so important. And just, man, it's been a time. So my spirit's full, my heart's full. Tonight was amazing. So shout out to you good brothers. That's it, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave you with this. Gotta learn how to manage your emotions. Manage those emotions, because then you can start to control your feelings. Like I said in the beginning, your morale, all of that. But yeah, it starts with you. Thank you guys. It has been a blast. I'm glad that y'all came and joined us. Tell a friend to tell a friend, like, subscribe, share, because it's gonna keep getting better. I promise you, it's gonna keep getting better.
Definitely willing to come back. We can work out the schedule. I love the conversation. People, I just want y'all to be real with yourselves. Let's all work on regulating our own nervous system. Because the more you regulate your nervous system, the more you realize how many people are dysregulated. And the more bullets it's easier to dodge. And so, when you're self-aware, then you are operating with access to a lot more wisdom. I'm still learning. I say all the things that I say, not from the place of expert, but from the place of experience. And so I just want to encourage everybody, man. If you like me, follow me at Real Coach Randy on most platforms. I do have a book of affirmations that just recently dropped. And so, you can find a link in the description. Follow me on social media, and you'll see some content soon. I got a couple courses that I've been working on that I'll be dropping hopefully before this year's out, as well as some other content speaking engagements. I'm willing to do those as well. So hopefully y'all be seeing me soon.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. One more time, big shout out to Coach Randy, man. We appreciate you stopping by and having a conversation with us, man. You guys in the comments, y'all lit it up. You guys are dope. Y'all the best part of everything that we do. We appreciate all you guys in the chat. Yes, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Follow us. Follow at Real Coach Randy on all the social media platforms. Check out his link. It is in the description. You get his website. You'll get his the link to the book. You'll also get his link to with him and his wife on the Dear Wifey podcast, which was fantastic. It was a phenomenal podcast, phenomenal episode. Check that out as well in your spare time. But yeah, definitely, man. Big shout out to him. We'll be bringing him back for sure. I leave everybody with this, as I always say, keep your head on the swivel. There's a war for your mind. It's a lot deeper than some of the things that we cover here. But again, you got to stay prayed up. You got to stay focused. You got to keep your head on straight, because listen, the devil will steal your joy if you allow him, in different ways, okay? In many different ways. So that's really all I can say about that. Again, in the interest of time, y'all stay prayed up. We love you. We're going to keep praying for you. We're going to keep trying to do better. We're going to continue our quest our ever-growing quest to make families great again. But for now, that's it. We done. Thank y'all one more time. Big shout out one more time to Coach Randy. Let's take a shot for the road, baby. Love it, man. Shout out.
I'm going to tell you something. Your children don't need a palace. They don't need the luxury of your presence. They need the gifts of your presence. And because she was given that, she felt safe in that environment. She didn't see a closet. She saw a place where she could smell her dad. And I facilitated that too by not making it into a negative.
You think the biggest thing that guys struggle with is?
Fatherless child.
Fatherless, like not having a dad in their life. Like this, I'm being real.
Right, like
not having a father figure. No father figure. No father figure. And it's not even like no jokes, bro. My dad's in prison.
I think there's probably one other job that you're about to get into that is really hard and really scary. You're about to be a mom.
Mm-hmm.
How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together.
Even the interviewer is setting Brittany up to be viewed as a great father by saying this is Brittany's first child. Well, if you know what I know, it's not Brittany's first child. Brittany was actually married before, and her previous wife decided to have twins.
For the Force, the King, the Kamikaze, and the Great Interval, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you had a good time tonight. Tune in next week. It's sure to be a crazy night. We'll dig into all the shenanigans next week. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and tell a friend to follow us. Catch you on the next round.